London had stopped sleeping. Every night brought the same sound, the low mechanical growl of V-1 flying bombs crossing the channel. Families froze at windows. Soldiers listened for engines before impact. Silence itself became terrifying, because silence meant the engine had stopped. Seconds later, destruction followed. Anti-aircraft crews fired endlessly into the night. Thousands of shells rose into smoke and rain, guided by calculations demanding impossible precision. Altitude, speed, trajectory, timing. The doctrine depended on prediction so exact, it bordered on illusion. German engineers had built the V-1 to exploit this weakness. Fast, low, unmanned, mechanical, impossible to read. Most interceptions failed by seconds, always near misses. The sky was no longer a battlefield, it was a countdown. But far from the coast, one physicist was preparing to erase the idea of the near miss. His name was Merle Tuve, 41 years old, American physicist, radar pioneer. By 1944, Tuve was no longer chasing scientific discovery alone. He was racing against catastrophe. Inside overcrowded wartime laboratories, engineers worked under relentless pressure. Their mission sounded impossible. Build a miniature radar system capable of surviving inside an artillery shell. Most experts believed it could never work. The shell's violent launch could crush delicate electronics instantly. Heat, vibration, and rotation threatened every prototype before it even reached the sky. But Tuve refused to abandon the idea. Night after night, failed components covered laboratory tables like battlefield wreckage. Burned circuits, shattered tubes, twisted metal fragments. Outside the labs, London continued burning beneath V-1 attacks. Tuve understood the stakes clearly. If his weapon failed, Allied defenses would remain trapped in a war of probability against machines that never hesitated. Contact, closing fast. The warning echoed through the bunker as the V-1 emerged above the horizon. Dark, fast, mechanical. The anti-aircraft battery opened fire immediately. Massive guns shook the coastline, while shells climbed into the clouds and burst across the night sky. But the V-1 kept coming. The old shells always failed the same way. Too high, too late, too far behind. Near misses. Always near misses. Then the order arrived. Load VT rounds. The new shells disappeared into the guns. Most of the crew did not understand the technology inside them. They only knew scientists claimed these rounds could detect targets automatically. The guns fired again. A shell exploded beside the V-1. Not directly on it, beside it. For a moment, nobody reacted. Then the flying bomb detonated in midair. The shockwave tore the machine apart instantly. Burning fragments spiraled downward into the sea. Silence filled the bunker. Then another V-1 appeared. Another volley. Another proximity burst. Another kill. The radio dissolved into panic and disbelief. Confirmed proximity detonation. No direct impact required. Target destroyed. Everything changed within minutes. The crews stopped firing with desperation and began firing with certainty. Accuracy no longer depended on striking the target itself. Tuve's invention had transformed the air surrounding the target into the weapon. By midnight, the coastline looked different. Searchlights swept through smoke, while burning V-1 debris rained into the channel like falling stars. Germany had built the V-1 to defeat prediction. They never imagined the Allies would eliminate prediction entirely. If you enjoy forgotten military history and battlefield engineering stories, subscribe to Untold Majesty. The results stunned Allied command. Before the VT Proximity Fuze, British batteries destroyed only a fraction of incoming V-1s. Within weeks, interception rates climbed dramatically. German intelligence struggled to explain the sudden collapse of the campaign. Engineers searched for flaws inside the V-1 program, while commanders blamed radar improvements and operational failures. Few imagined the truth. The Allies had placed radar inside artillery shells. Fear spread quietly through German command structures. The V-1 offensive, once expected to terrorize Britain into exhaustion, was collapsing against a technology they barely understood. For Allied gun crews, the psychological shift was immediate. The fear changed direction. For the first time in months, the sky no longer felt uncontrollable. The endless waiting and helplessness began to disappear. The battlefield itself had changed, and at the center of that transformation stood Merle Tuve's impossible invention. Historians rank the VT Proximity Fuze among World War II's most important breakthroughs, not because it improved accuracy, but because it removed the need for direct impact. Proximity itself became lethal. Merle Antony Tuve was an American physicist and a key leader behind the program. Before the war, he worked at the Carnegie Institution in geophysics and early radar research, focused on detecting invisible natural and radio phenomena. During World War II, Tuve helped turn experimental radar into a weapon. He coordinated teams developing a miniature radar inside artillery shells, making it rugged enough for combat. His leadership was central to the VT Fuze, used against aircraft and V-1 bombs. After the war, he continued research in geophysics and radio science, influencing early radio astronomy. But his wartime role defined his legacy. Above 1944 England, his work turned uncertainty into control and erased the near miss. If this story moved you, subscribe to Untold Majesty for more forgotten military history. Leave a comment with your country and help keep these stories alive.